Hello and welcome to Unacademy. Welcome to this special session where we are going to talk about all the different species which have remained in news in a particular month that is relevant for your examination, be it for the prelims or the mains. Now, why have we come up with this initiative and why is it that you should take a look at the video? Now, for the portion of environment ecology, UPSC in the prelims examination in particular has been asking questions about certain species. And majority of the candidates, they end up ratifying all these species names before the month of April or May, and they end up committing negative marks, if not omitting the questions altogether. But if you take a look at the pattern and the trend of questions asked in prelims, all those particular species have remained in news for some reason or the other for the past year and a half. So, from this month onwards, we bring you a complete compilation of all the various different species, their conservation status, and their unique features, which can be important for you to ace the exam. So, from next month onwards, please mark your calendar. Please click on the bell icon so that you get an idea every second Saturday at 6 p.m. We are going to come up with the initiative. If you like this initiative of ours, please don't forget to click on the like, share, and the subscribe button and put that in the comment section below. Now, in this discussion, not only are we going to discuss about the various different species, we are also going to tackle the type of MCQs which can be framed from these particular species in general. That will help you prepare better. Now, what I would advise you to do is that when you are taking a look at the video, keep an A4 sheet paper next to you and just list out these species along with the regions where they are to be found so that you yourself have a own compilation of notes which is self sufficient. Now, if you want to download the PDF of the session, you can download it from the Telegram link which is shown on your screen. Now, for the month of May 2025, these are the species, the 11 species which have been in news for some reason or the other. And we are going to discuss about them, be it the Great Indian Bustard or be it the 16th Lion Census, which was conducted, and what are the findings associated with that. Now, without further ado, let us initiate the discussion from the first species news and the first topic, that is Great Indian Bustard. Now, Great Indian Bustard has remained in news for the past couple of months owing to the success gained in breeding these bustard species with the help of artificial insemination, or owing to the fact that greater amount of effort is being put in to conserve these bustard species and understand their range areas as well. Now, what are the features and the properties associated with Great Indian Bustard that one should be aware of? So, this is a large terrestrial bird endemic to the Indian subcontinent. It is not only found in the region of India, but also in the neighboring western country of Pakistan. That is again where you will find this Great Indian Bustard. Now, the bird is primarily found in dry grassland and scrublands. Majorly, in many of the regions which are described as wastelands in particular, you will find these great Indian bustard species to be existent. Now, destruction of habitat owing to extension of agriculture and also diversion of these lands for industrial purposes, they are one of the prime reasons why these great Indian bustard species, they are being pushed to extinction. At one point of time, their range extended from the region of Western India all through the central and in the portion of the Deccan Plateau as well. But today, the situation is completely different. This great Indian bustard also being hunted. Now, that is restricted to the regions of Rajasthan, adjoining state of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, some parts of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and some regions of Karnataka. I will show you a map indicating the presence of these bustard species in these states as well. Now, the core population survives in the Thar Desert, mainly in Jaisalmer and Barmer districts of Rajasthan. So, this is where you can also find the bustard species in its natural habitat, that is across the Desert National Park. So, accordingly, take a look at the protected area in news as well. So, Desert National Park, which is situated in Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, is where you will find this. Okay. Now, total population is critically low, around 100 to 150 individuals, due to which it has been put under the IUCN Red List of critically endangered. As per the Wildlife Act, this has been provided and the species has been provided with maximum amount of conservation and protection and is listed under Schedule 1. Even as per the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Flora and Fauna, that is CITES, this has been listed under Appendix 1, where the trade is absolutely banned. Only for research purposes you can have an exchange, but otherwise, maximum protection is given to this great Indian bustard. But then, are you aware that this great Indian bustard is not the only species of bustard to be found in India? Because this is always in news cycle, so we get a misconception that this is the only bustard species to be found in India. But other than this, you have three other bustard species which are found in India. Which are those? You have lesser florican, Bengal florican, as well as McQueen's bustard. Now, lesser florican to be found in some parts of central and western part of India and also some parts of northwest. This is listed as critically endangered. And same is the case with Bengal florican. Bengal florican, which was at one point of time abundant in the region of Bangladesh, Assam plains, and the region of Bengal plains as well. Now that population is restricted owing to again the destruction of the habitat. So both of these are listed as critically endangered. Whereas when we talk about McQueen's bustard is not something which is endemic to India. It is to be found to be breeding in the region to the east of Sinai Peninsula all the way to the region of Caspian. So that is in the region of West and Central Asia. That is where you will find this. West and Central Asia up till the region of Caspian Sea. Now, then why do we say it is a species of bustard in India? Because this is a migratory species. During the winter months, it migrates to the region of Rajasthan as well as Gujarat. So, only during the winter months. That is the winter migration. Now, this is a species whose number has not dwindled to such an extent, and this is listed as vulnerable as per the IUCN Red List. Now, it is easy to recall and retain. If you think about the bustard species, three of them are critically endangered, one of them is listed as vulnerable. And this is the range where you will find the presence of the three bustard species. We are not talking about the McQueen's bustard because it is a migratory species of bird. But other than that, the other species you will find that the great Indian bustard is to be found in the region of Rajasthan, parts of Gujarat, in the region of the area of Run of Kutch, some portions of Madhya Pradesh, the contiguous zone with Rajasthan, where you will have the presence of scrublands and semi arid grasslands, some portions across the Maharashtra Telangana border, some areas of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and other regions of Maharashtra as well. So, this is the overall aerial extent and the aerial range present where you will find the Great Indian Bustard. But when you talk about the lesser florican again to be found in the northwestern part of India, but also in some areas of western India. Whereas when you talk about Bengal florican is largely restricted now in the Assam plains in India. Even Bengal florican is experiencing the destruction of habitat owing to lesser amount of rainfall. Now, their body and the camouflage is built based upon the grasslands and the grasses that you find in the region like Kaziranga. But owing to lesser amount of rainfall, the grasses are getting paler and lesser in quantity, due to which this Bengal florican finds it incredibly difficult to hide itself from predators and poachers and hunters anymore, due to which again their number is dwindling and they are also listed as critically endangered. All these three species are critically endangered. Now, let us take a look at the practice question which can be framed from this particular topic. Take a look at this question and reply it in the comment section. What do you think is the correct answer based upon the discussion that you have just had? Consider the following statements in the context of Great Indian Bustard. It is the only critically endangered bustard species to be found in India. It can be found in the states of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka. Methods like artificial insemination are impossible in these species, making their conservation difficult. Which of these statements is or are correct. So take a look at this and let me know what the correct answer is, marking question 1 and your answer in the comment section. Now, then we come to the topic of 16th Lion Census. So 16th Lion Census was conducted in the year 2025 and the detailed results of it were declared in the month of May. That is why lions and Asiatic lions come in news. Now, when we talk about the lion census, it is important even for your prelims. So basically, this is a census exercise carried out every 5 years. Now, when we talk about the lion species in India, now, India has got the presence of only one type of lion, that is the Asiatic lion. And it can also be said that India is the only home of Asiatic lions in the wild. In India, they are concentrated in the region of the Gir ranges and the Gir forests. At one point of time in the history of the subcontinent, lion population would be spread from the region of Gujarat to the central India and as further south as Karnataka. But again, the same issues, that is habitat destruction and hunting and poaching, have restricted their population in the region of Gujarat. Now, lion census and conservation of lion population has been on the cards for many decades now. In fact, the census exercise was started way back in 1936 by Nawab of Junagadh. That is when he started this. Now, it was only in the year 1965 when this entire census exercise was shifted to the Gujarat department and the state, right? The Gujarat Forest Department. From that time onwards, every 5 years, this exercise is carried out. Now, this 16th census that you see is the first detailed census after 2015, owing to the fact that in 2020, we were suffering from the COVID pandemic and news had spread that COVID could also impact the lion population. So you had an approximation in the case of the 15th lion census. This time, you had the direct beat method along with managing that with the satellite data and correlating that with the help of enumerators, each and every enumerator having two assistants. So there would be multiple verification process. So that is why this time's lion census is considered to be verifiable, authentic, and much more detailed as compared to the previous census exercise. What is also important to note in this census exercise is that the lion population was also found to be present in the region around the Barda protected area or the Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, which has been the aim of lion relocation as per the Project Lion aims. Now, let us take a look at some of the key pointers which have been indicated by this census exercise. So the population has risen by 32% between 2020 and 2025, with 891 lions reported. Now, the health of the lion population is always gauged by the population of the females. And that also has indicated a healthy increase. So, the number of adult females has increased by 27% to around 330 individuals. Other than that, you also find 196 males, 140 subadults, and 225 cubs. Obviously, you don't have to ratify any of these data pointers. You have to understand the aspects of the census. So 55.78% of this lion population was to be found in the forested areas, whereas the remaining 44% were found in non-forested areas. Because as when you consider the lion population, they basically live in these scrubland, semi arid regions, and that provides them with a perfect camouflage as well as provides them with the ample hunting opportunities. Now, when we talk about non forested area, this also includes wastelands. Please do not think wastelands means those areas where the waste is dumped. Wastelands, they are generally that categorization of the land where the economic productivity is estimated to be very less, and those areas are not fit for agricultural purpose or any other commercial purpose. So, wastelands, 27%, agricultural regions, riverine areas, agricultural plantations, and even adjacent to human population. Now, in the region of Gujarat, other than the Gir forest, this is also one of the grasslands where you will find the lion population to be present, and that is the bunny grasslands. So that is where you will find a significant amount of lion population. Other than that, you also have to keep one other pointer in mind, that when we talk about human habitations, there is a particular tribe which has co lived with this lion population for a long period of time, for generations after another. And those tribes, they basically are the Maldhari community, the Maldharis. Okay? These trivias can also be relevant for your prelims. Now, overall, the man animal conflict has been on the rise, and at the same time, there has been an increased number of lion attack when it comes to the cattle population. So, while compensation is provided for the cattle which is killed by the lion, but the tribe and the community has, over a period of time, come to the grasp and the grip of it, and they understand the importance of lions in the entire ecosystem. Lions, after all, they represent a flagship community for wildlife conservation, but at the same time are an important keystone species when it comes to ecological balance in terms of the predator population. Now, the census covered a large protected area, that is 35,000 square kilometer, over the period of multiple decades now. This has always been and continuously been increasing. So, the region where and the range where you will find lions, at one point of time in the 1930s and 40s, this was around 10,000 square kilometer. Over a period of time, this has expanded to 35,000 square kilometer. While balancing with the growing population pressure, this indicates a vital achievement in India's conservation measure when it comes to the big cats. So it is spread across 11 districts of Saurashtra region like Junagadh, Gir Somnath, Morbi, Rajkot, Bhavnagar, and so on. Now, here the estimation was done by the direct beat method, where you have the rangers going into the depth of the forest and they have the personal verification by which they get a count of the number of lions. But again, there were other drone data, satellite data, which was also calculated. Now, maximum number of lions have been observed in the Gir National Park and the Pania Wildlife Sanctuary. Along with that, lion population, as I have mentioned, is also to be found in the region of the Barda Wildlife Sanctuary. Now, the Gir National Park and the Pania Wildlife Sanctuary, that is considered source of the lion population, with increasing population, then moving on into the surrounding areas. The Mityala Wildlife Sanctuary is again one of the regions where the lion population is increasing, which is a positive sign. Ideally, when any particular species does not have the genetic diversity, that is, they don't have multiple types of subspecies, they have a similar genetic quality, then it is always advisable to have a territorial expansion so that any adverse condition, natural disasters, spread of disease like the CDV or the canine distemper virus, all of these do not completely eliminate one population at one point of time. Now, here, the 2025 population estimates include the population to be found in the other regions like the Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, Jaitpur, and the adjoining areas as well. Now, for the first time, this is a change. For the first time, this population count also keeps in mind the corridor population, that is the wildlife corridor. What do we mean by that? Suppose a population is found in this pocket, another population is to be found in this pocket. Now, if you have population of lions or any wildlife in between these areas, these are your corridors. Now, presence of lions in corridors is always important because this tells you that the lions are trying to find newer habitat and newer prey population. Now, it also brings them closer to the man animal conflict situation and closer to the human habitation. But it talks about and it tells you the long term vitality of the lion population. Let us take a look at the practice question which can be framed from this. And again, I want the answer in the comment section below. So, consider the following statements about Asiatic lions in India. Lion census was started in 1955 by the Gujarat Forest Department and has been carried every 5 years ever since. More than two-thirds of the lion population is found in forested land as compared to the non-forested region. Which of the above is or are incorrect? So take a look at this and list out the correct answer in the comment section. Now, the third species in news is the largest flightless parrot to be found in New Zealand, which is also critically endangered. That is the bird species of kakapo. So when you talk about kakapo, so there, why is it in news? Because artificial insemination has been found to be a fitting methodology by which breeding can be carried out. So, artificial insemination helps in breeding these critically endangered species. Now, it is the largest flightless parrot in the world, native to New Zealand. It is nocturnal, herbivorous, as is the case with majority of the parrot species, and the only lake breeding parrot species. What does that mean? That indicates that males they gather to perform the mating displays at specific site in order to attract the female population. Now, it is named for its owl-like face with moss green plumage mottled with yellow and black gray bill and gray legs with pale. So that is the feature, the generic feature, so that you are aware what the species looks like. That is why we have attached the image here as well. Now, it reproduces infrequently, only breeding in years when certain kind of native fruits such as rainbow berries, etc., they are abundant. That is why breeding and conservation measures have always turned out to be a challenge. Now, the next species in news, that is dugong. Now, dugong, these are marine herbivore mammals. They are to be found across the coastal areas of the world in certain parts of the world. For example, in India, across the region of Andaman Nicobar, across the region of Gulf of Mannar, that is where you will find the presence of mammals. They are not to be found in all the coastlines of India. They are only restricted in the. Now they end up consuming large amount of sea grass in order to feed themselves. At, and thereby we can automatically understand that whenever there is any disturbance in the coastal ecosystem in the form of pollution, in the form of construction activity, this population gets endangered and their population starts to decline. One other important fact about dugong is that it is amongst the only herbivore species, only few of the herbivore species, they have the ability to digest cellulose. And that is what gives them nutrition. But for that, they need to chew in large amount of seagrass, due to which their teeth they get rubbed out very soon, which they regenerate as well. Now, May 28 is celebrated every year as the World Dugong Day. That is why it was in news. Now, dugongs are the only herbivore mammals found in India's marine ecosystem. They are also referred to as sea cows. Now, they resemble a cross between a seal and a whale. Due to their dependence on seagrass beds for habitat and food, they are closer to the coastline, which makes them much more vulnerable to attacks and killing by the hunters and the poachers also. They are found along the Indian coastline, not across the entirety of the coastline, but in the regions like Andaman Nicobar Islands, Gulf of Mannar, Pork Bay, and even Gulf of Kutch in limited quantities. Now they have a long lifespan of close to around 70 years. Now they are generally solitary or found in small mother calf pairs. However, in regions like Australia, they are also found in some large herds. And that is the rare aspect of the region and the population in Australia. When we talk about the conservation status, it is listed by IUCN as vulnerable, regionally endangered. The region around India, endangered, but overall vulnerable. Now, India has taken multiple different conservation measures as well. For example, being a party to the CMS or the Bonn Convention, that is the Convention for the Conservation of Migratory Species, dugong has also been listed. So, India has been a party of the CMS and has been the signatory of the Memorandum of Understanding on Dugong's Conservation and Habitat Management. This has been going on since 2008. But along with that, the government of India officially announced creation of the country's first dugong conservation reserve spanning 448.3 square kilometer in the coastal waters of Pork Bay. That is where the conservation reserve is situated. That also needs to be understood for your prelims. Now let us take a look at the practice question as well. Consider the following statements for dugong recently in. These are the marine herbivore mammals found all along the coastline of India. Like other herbivores, their inability to digest cellulose forces them to forage for larger quantities. You have to find out which of the statements are correct. Put that in the comment section and let us know if we are able to retain particular species in. Now, there is a species of lousewort which has been found, that is Pedicularis rajesiana. Now, this is a particular species which is hemiparasitic. That means while this species can carry out photosynthesis on its own, but it also gathers nutrients from the other plants simultaneously. There are large number of louseworts to be found across the globe. Now, they have discovered a new plant species, that is Pedipularis regiciana, in the high altitude regions of Rohtang Pass, the western Himalayan region. This was an endeavor on the part of the Botanical Survey in order to understand the newer species in the region. Now, in the area of Himalayas, and that too Western Himalayas itself, you have more than 36 lousewort species which are to be found. So they are to be found in larger numbers, just that the variety is different. So, group of plants known as louseworts, which are hemiparasitic. So they carry out photosynthesis, they also drive nutrients from the other plant species. So they have unique floral characteristics and the pollen structure. Now here, the new species is smaller in size and has fewer flower and leaf region. What is their unique ability as a hemiparasitic plant? And overall, the regional spread. That is all that you need. Now, then another species which was in news is the Indian grey wolf. Now, when we talk about Indian grey wolf, it is a subspecies of the grey wolf found across the region of Southwest Asia and the Indian subcontinent. Well, it inhabits scrublands, semi arid regions, grasslands, and agro ecosystems as well. And they thrive in slightly warmer temperature. Unlike other wolf subspecies, they live in smaller packs. They don't live in very large wolf pack and is less vocal. They are primarily nocturnal in nature, hunting from dusk, that is the sunset, to the sunrise, that is dawn. Conservation status IUCN endangered as per CITES Appendix 1 and as per the Condition of Wildlife Protection Act, it is listed in Schedule 1. Now, here, for the conservation of wolf and Indian grey wolf, another protected area has been identified, and that is the region of Mawadanar Wildlife Sanctuary. Do locate it on the map, Wildlife Sanctuary. Now, where is this situated? This is situated in the Latehar district of Jharkhand. Latehar district of Jharkhand. Okay, that is for the conservation of Indian. Now, then snow leopard was in news, and snow leopard owing to the sightings of. Now, this snow leopard is one of those unique species where our ability to understand their habitat and understand their population is increasing day by day. Earlier, it was understood that the population of snow leopard is restricted only in some mountainous areas of the Indian subcontinent. But slowly and steadily, it has been realized that the snow leopard population spreads beyond the Indian subcontinent into the region of Central Asia and even northern parts of Asiatic region as well. These are the high altitude cats, big cat species, which have slightly different ability as compared to the other big cat species that you will find. Now, their presence or their ability to camouflage themselves in the rocky terrain and the snow-capped peaks makes them very difficult to see and very difficult to count as well. That is why till now, a verified authentic population count for the snow leopard is still elusive. These are also referred to as the ghost of the mountains. Now, overall, less than 3% of the leopard range has actually been studied in detail. In the region of Nepal, the range is substantially high and the population is also expected to be substantially high. Now here, it has got certain properties and abilities which allows it to live in high altitude mountainous ecosystem. So extra large paws act like a pair of natural snowshoes because in snow, the paws or the feet, they generally sink. So that is why the paws, they act as a wobbling device. Now round short ears reduce the heat loss. because if the ears are large, like the case of the elephants, the heat loss is also very high. But for the elephants, which are larger species, they need to remain cool. So that is why they have these large ears. But for snow leopard, which lives in snowy and mountainous high altitude regions, there they don't need that. That is why they have the smaller ears. Now, short nasal cavity that warms the air before it enters the cat's lungs. It has strong, short forelimbs and longer hind limbs, providing it the ability to launch for a large distance. Now, extra long tail helps to provide balance and change of direction. They cannot roar, unlike the other big cats that you come around. Now, this big cat is more closely related to the tiger as compared to leopard in terms of the morphology and in terms of the metabolic activity. As per IUCN, listed in vulnerable, as per the Wildlife Protection Act, listed in Schedule 1. Okay? Now, red admiral butterfly. This was in news because it was sighted for the first time in the Dhauladhar mountain range. Now, it is a of the same species when we consider the European red admiral butterfly as well. The European red admiral is well known for its extensive migratory patterns across Europe and the region of Northern America. It is for the first time and after a long period of time that it has been sighted in the region of India. So, though historically unreported from India, it has been previously sighted in the region of Balochistan way back in 1929 and again rediscovered in Pakistan's lower Chitral region in 2022. So, it is very elusive and it is not sighted very frequently. Now, the larvae of the European red admiral primarily feed on the stinging nettle, a plant species found abundantly in the region of the Dhauladhar and in the region of Western Himalayas. Morphologically, it bears a close resemblance to the Indian red admiral as well. Okay, but there are some distinguishing features like narrower, deeper crimson discal band. So these are the features which makes them different. Otherwise, this European red admiral is very close to the Indian red admiral butterfly. So red admiral butterfly species, European, found in the region of Western Himalayas, the region of Dhauladhar mountain ranges. Now, after that, Califia sinifurcata is again a species of damselfly which has been found in the region of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, there are various different species of damselfly, but this for the first time has been sighted in the region of Arunachal Pradesh. It was discovered during biodiversity surveys being carried out in the upper Siang and the lower Dehang Valley of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, here, the discovery is still very new, so a generic name is still being provided. But ideally, based upon the features that it has, based upon the features that it is also being proposed to be named as bearded bronzeback. And this is the only second species of the genus Califia recorded in India. Now, it is Califia species have been known to be found in the regions of Southeast Asia and China. Only one species, that is Confusa, was previously recorded in India. That was long time back. Now, the damsel fly has got the metallic copper green coloration associated, inhabits small, rocky seasonal streams in broad-leaved evergreen forest as well, and is found at a height of around 1200 to 1300 meters above sea. So, what is this particular species? A species of damselfly, typically to be found in the region of India, China, and Southeast Asia. And it will be also named as the bearded bronzeback. Okay? Now, a species of lizard has been found in Meghalaya for the first time. Earlier, it was also found in the region of Mizoram, but in the region of Meghalaya, for the first time, it has been found. That is why it has made the news. That is Kelotis zolai king. Now, Kelotis species of lizards, they have very sharp edges, as you can see. And when excited, they change colors quite frequently to very vibrant camouflages. Now, it is a rare lizard species and was recorded for the first time in Meghalaya. Now, it is a species of the garden lizard, earlier also found in the region of Mizoram. Now, about 5 inches long, and bodies have a different shade of green with dark patches. Now, India is home to around 14 species of calates, otherwise as well. They are arboreal in nature. This is the kind of question that UPSC has asked, even in the case of tarantula, peacock tarantula, which was a question in 2025 prelims. You would have observed whether they are arboreal, whether they are omnivorous or herbivorous. These are the details that you cannot ignore. So, arboreal species of lizards, and they go for extreme color changes. They are diurnal in nature, and they can also swim the water. Found in the regions of India, Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia, and Pacific Islands. They feed on insects, flies, and some other particular species. So they are primarily carnivores. Now, then the last species that we are going to talk about is red-crowned roofed turtle, or Batagur kachuga. Now, this particular critically endangered species of turtle at one point of time was found in the entire stretch of the Indo-Brahmaputra or the Ganga-Brahmaputra basin, but then their population has been declining. Now, here, the critically endangered species of Batagur kachuga has made a triumphant return to the Ganga River after 3 decades of absence. So that marks an important turn of event. Now, it is also known as the Bengal roof turtle or the red crowned roof turtle, owing to the red coloration that you see here. That is why the red crowned roof turtle. Now, species of freshwater turtle endemic to South Asia. It is native to India, Bangladesh, and the region of Nepal. Historically, they were widespread in the region of Ganga River, Brahmaputra River, and so on. But now, sizable population is only to be found in the region of Chambal. That is, the National Chambal River Gharial Sanctuary is the only area where you will find the critically endangered species. In the Ganga River, it is making a comeback. So that is the aspect associated with this particular species. IUCN, critically endangered, Wildlife Protection Act, Schedule 1, and as per CITES, it is listed in Appendix 2, not in Appendix 1. Means if given prior approval and proper regulations and proper permissions are taken, trade can be carried out for research purposes. So that brings us to the end of the discussion for this entire species in news for the month of May 2025. If you have liked the content, please do put that in the comment section and click on the like, share, and the subscribe button. I do suggest and advise all of you to prepare your own list of these particular species in news, and you should be able to revise that every 15 days in order to ensure you don't feel that burden immediately prior to the prelims exam. From next month onwards, click on the bell icon. Every second Saturday at 6 p.m., we are going to come up with the species in news every first Saturday with our initiative of places in. Do let us know how this initiative is helping you. Till we meet again, take care. Goodbye. Thank you.